Kerala, often hailed for its political consciousness and high literacy, is preparing for yet another turning point, the 2026 Assembly elections. A groundbreaking survey conducted by Spick Media Network, called Fate of Kerala 1.0, gathered the voices of nearly 80,000 people across the state. What do Keralites really feel about their leaders, parties, and future? Let's dive deep. Before we dive into the 2026 cast vote trends, let's take a quick look back. In 2021, Spick Media predicted the Kerala Assembly election results with remarkable accuracy. When most national pollsters were off the mark, Spick Media correctly foresaw an LDF sweep, even predicting the tough-to-call margins in districts like Alappuzha, Palakkad, and Pathanamthitta. The 2021 prediction by Spick Media is LDF 85, UDF 53 and NDA 2, and the actual results were LDF 99, UDF 41 and NDA 0. With that same data-driven accuracy, we now bring you the Fate of Kerala 1.0, the most granular survey on caste-wise voter patterns, scheduled castes and scheduled tribes seats, bellwether trends, and the final 2026 tally.
Hi, hello, namaste and namaskar. Welcome to Spick Media. We had conducted a survey at Kerala in two phases from April 15 to July 20, 2025, collecting responses from 78,654 individuals. A surprising result have come out, and not wasting time, let's go to the results. Over the next few minutes, we are going to break down each of the 24 key questions asked in the survey and show you what the numbers say. Get ready to explore the mind of Kerala like never before. So here we have a set of questions, and here there are it consists of 28 pages, including 140 constituency results. So without wasting time, we'll go into the results. So the first question we asked to the voters: do you plan to vote in the 2026 Kerala Assembly election? And the responses were yes, 79.35%, no, 13.80%, not sure, 6.85%. So 79.35% of voters say yes, they are planning to vote for the Kerala Assembly election, and 6.85% of voters are still undecided. So let's go to the next question. Which party do you currently feel is best suited to govern Kerala after 2026? Here in this question, UDF leads, but by a massive margin. The left is still holding a significant base, but what is notable is the nearly 19% for BJP, a huge leap from its actual vote share in previous state electors. This suggests that the BJP is growing in urban, youth, and the first-time voter segments. So the response is 37.74% says UDF, 30.66% says LDF, 18.95% says NDA, and 4.01% says others. The third question we asked to the voters is: who is your preferred chief minister candidate if elections were held today? Pinarayi Vijayan is leading, but doesn't have a clear dominance here. You can see the numbers we are placing in here. Pinarayi Vijayan, LDF CM candidate, he'll be the CM candidate for the LDF. He gets a 31.59%. Surendran, BJP's former state president, is getting 14% of support. V. Satishan, Congress candidate, UDF CM phase might be. He gets 13.55%. Shashi Tharoor is getting 10% here. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, the new Kerala BJP president, is getting 6% here. and 23% of voters say they are undecided. K. Surendran's presence suggests BJP's growing CM face recognition, while Tharoor cross-party appeal is very much interesting. So here we have a fourth question. If Shashi Tharoor joins BJP, how would that affect your support for the party? This question gauges the polarizing effect of Tharoor. A third say they'd reduce support if he joined BJP, which suggests his appeal is heavily tied to Congress or liberal values. But the 25% saying more likely means he could still attract a new voter base to the BJP. Let's go to the numbers here. More likely, that is the question. If Shashi Tharoor joins BJP, how would that affect your support for the party? More likely says 24.66%, 35.33% of voters say less likely, and 11.46% of voters are saying they have no opinion. So the fifth question, we have one BJP MP in Kerala, that is Suresh Gopi. So the question is based on him. Suresh Gopi as BJP MP, how is his impact perceived? Here, while seeing the numbers, while nearly 1 in 4 people view him positively, a large portion are unsure. This may reflect a wait and watch approach among the public and lack of visible change so far. So we'll go to the numbers. Positive influence is 23.34%, mostly symbolic 15.61%, no impact 17.03%, too early to judge 19.95%, and no opinion 24.07%. So the sixth question, support for the Indie Alliance including Congress and CPM. Yes, unity is important, says 17.29% of voters. No ideological rivals, says 45.35% of voters. Depends on context, says 14% of voters. Don't know enough. Actually, they say they have no context about it, and they do not know will they join as an alliance. 23.35% of voters are unknown. So a massive skepticism towards the alliance. Kerala voters seem uncomfortable with ideological contradictions, especially between the Congress and CPM. This can hurt both parties if they push for an artificial unity or for an artificial alliance. So here we jump to the seventh question. Have opposition parties held the LDF government accountable since 2021? Slight of majority thinks opposition did their job, but 44% says no here. This shows that voters expect more from both UDF and BJP in challenging the ruling front effectively. 53.99% of voters say yes, 44.12% of voters say no, and 1.89% of voters say not sure. Eighth question, should CM Pinarayi Vijayan continue for a third term? He won the 2016, the 2021 elections, and 2026 he might, but the results here shows a clear anti-incumbency. Even though he leads in CM preference, more than half say he shouldn't continue. Fatigue after 2 terms may be kicking in. Yes, 35% of 07% of voters say yes, 52.39% of voters say no, and 12.54% of voters say they are not sure. So we go to the ninth question. It is very important. Satisfaction with the LDF government between 2021 and 2025. Discontent overweights satisfaction. Roughly 48% of voters are unhappy with the government. Um, this shows some serious vote concerns that may translate into electoral change. So the results are 20.17% of voters say they are very satisfied. 14.98% of voters say they are somewhat satisfied. 16.83% of voters say they are neutral, which means they are it is between satisfied, somewhat satisfied, and somewhat dissatisfied. 23% of voters say they are dissatisfied, and 25.02% of voters say they are very dissatisfied. So, the 10th question here, which is the most important issue for the 2026 election for you to vote? That is the question we asked, and we can see a huge number for employment issues. Jobs and inflation dominate, showing the economic issues have overtaken ideological debates. Infrastructure also scores high, pointing to demand for visible development. So, we'll go to the numbers here. 17.32% of voters say employment, 15.21% of voters say inflation, 11.16% of voters say corruption, 11.84% of voters say healthcare, 12.58% of voters say infrastructure, and the rest goes with education, environment, religious harmony, and others. The 11th question here, governor delaying bills. We asked what are the views you're having on governor delaying the bills that are being passed in the assembly. Huge trust deficit between the public and the governor's office. Nearly 70% believe the delay is either undemocratic or political. A warning sign for the center. 45.5% of voters say this is undemocratic. 24.86% of voters say politically motivated. 19.33% voters say within rights. 10.31% of voters say they are not sure. And Supreme Court ruling, the governors must act fast on bills, and we have asked the public's view on this too. Wide support for time-bound governance. People want efficiency and accountability even from constitutional posts like governors, which means 46.35% of voters they strongly agree, 29.7% of voters somewhat agree, 18.34% disagree, and 5.61% of voters are unaware of the judgment. This is also an important question. Does the center treat Kerala fairly compared to other states? Nearly half believe Kerala is decimated against. The sentiment could fuel anti-BJP narratives in the campaign. 21% believes yes, and 45.99% of voters say no. 32.33, that is 32% of voters say they are not sure. So the 14th question here is Kerala adequately represented in national politics? Most of the respondents here feel Kerala has a voice nationally, but nearly 4 in 10 disagree. There is a room to amplify regional issues more effectively. 54.54% of voters say yes, 38.77% of voters say no, and 6.78% of voters say they are not sure. Support for KRail, that is Silver Line project, majority of the voters oppose, showing public resistance to large infrastructure projects, especially when concerns over environment and displacement exist. 30.41% of voters support, 51.08% of voters do not support, and 18.51% of voters are undecided. AI camera project, this is the 16th question we are looking at. AI camera project for traffic and the views of public. Uh, Distrust towards implementation dominates here. People want better governance, not surveillance without accountability. So 34.88% of voters say good for safety, 40.25% of voters say waste of funds, 10.15% of voters say needs transparency, and 14% of voters say they have no opinion on it. Corruption in recent state projects. We have asked the public for the view, and they say they have serious concern on it. 39.84% of voters say they have serious concern on it. 30.36% of voters say it is politically motivated. 17.41% of voters say they are unproven, and 12% of voters are saying that they are not aware of it. Nearly 40% take the allegations seriously. This is an electoral landmine for the LDF. So the 18th question we are seeing here, should Kerala conduct a caste-wise census? A massive support reflects increasing demand for the data-driven social justice. This could trigger politically motivated, similar to Bihar or Tamil Nadu. 73.28% of voters say yes, 15.90% of voters say no, and 10.82% of voters say they are not sure. So, how important is caste or religion or community in voting? This is the 19th question we asked. And despite Kerala's progressive image, identity still drives votes for majority. A critical insight for the parties for party strategies. 53.62% of voters say it is very important. 22.09% of voters say they are somewhat important, and 24% of voters say they are not even important to them. 20th question. We are near to the 20th question. Are minority communities well represented politically? Over half feel minorities aren't fully represented or could be better served. I think this issue will be addressed by the parties in their manifestos. 30.68% of voters say yes, 35.11% of voters say no, 24.3% of voters believe it could be better, and 9.91% of voters say they are not sure. So, should more women be fielded as candidates in 2026? This is the 21st question. I see no clear consensus. The nearly equal split shows gender representation is still not decisive issue for most voters. 34.27% of voters say yes, 30.81% of voters say no, and that does not make any difference, says 34.92% of voters. Is youth leadership, so we are going to the 22nd question, is youth leadership encouraged enough in Kerala politics? I feel the results show young voters feel sidelined, which might encourage youth-led independent or fringe parties to emerge. 31.59% of voters say yes, 39.04% of voters say no, and 29% of voters say they are not sure. We are in a digital world today, and everyone knows there is a digital dominance everywhere in India. So this question, 23rd question, is about the main source of political news, from where they get political campaigns need to be mobile first, YouTube focused, and WhatsApp savvy. So the results show 40.18% of voters say they get the political news through social media. 28.35% of voters say online portals. 14.27% of voters say TV. 10.26% of voters say newspapers. 6.94% of voters say work from home. So we have seen 24 questions and response we have received from the voters of the Kerala. In the next part, we will reveal the seat predictions, regional strengths, caste-wise trends, and bellwether constituencies. The full picture coming up. Stay tuned and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.